So today I'm joined with
Alyssa. My name is
yes.
Alyssa.
Okay. I'm very thankful, honestly, for the time. And as I tried to explain to you earlier, today we are just like trying to give an idea for people who are planning to come and study here in Korea. So I did an interview with my Pakistani brothers yesterday, and we were just talking about his Korean experience because he has been here for 5 years.
Oh wow.
Yes,
Okay.
and now he's going to start a new chapter of his life. So I would like to start with a very typical question: why Korea?
I am a college student, and
Okay.
I've always wanted to study abroad during my college years.
Yes.
And I chose Korea because I have actually been learning the language before. It started back in middle school. I got into, K-pop and K-dramas, all of that sort of thing back in 2016, and it made me become, interested in learning the language and learning more about the culture. I've never heard of it before, so that's where my interest started. And it wasn't until my first year of college I took official language classes, and so for my study abroad, I decided to go to Korea because I already know the basics of Korean, and I thought it would be like a good first time
Okay, I
to
see.
try. Yeah.
So how long have you been living in Korea?
So I actually arrived here last February.
Okay, last February.
Yeah, late February.
I
right
see.
before my semester started.
Okay, I see. So how was Korea? Did the country live up to your expectation?
I think overall I've been pretty satisfied with my study abroad in Korea. There were definitely ups and downs. So I know a lot of people, never have been to Korea, but really into, K-dramas and K-pop and everything. They'll kind of like tend to fantasize South Korea
맞아요.
a bit. And to be honest, I was one of those people who did fantasize about Korea, like, but
So
in
you came
reality,
with that delusion about
a little bit. I think I started to like get into reality right before coming here,
Okay.
because I kind of stopped watching Korean dramas and like, listening to K-pop and everything. Just it just kind of ended naturally. But yeah, there were lots of ups and downs. Really good times, really bad times, but I think overall I'm really happy and proud of myself for, being able to overcome and live in a new environment and learn so many new things. My Korean may not be as great as I want it to be, but I think I still learned a lot too. I told myself, I'm going to be magically fluent by the end of it. No, it didn't happen. But that's okay, I want to come back again and definitely explore more. So we're working on it.
I see. So like to start at the what you just mentioned now about the Korean language. Like some of my people, like some of my friends and people around me, they always tell me like coming with a decent Korean level can definitely change the Korean experience.
Yes.
How much do you agree with this?
I 100% agree with it. Even though Korea is pretty well developed and there are a lot of foreigners that come in and out of the country every year, I do believe that knowing the basics, at least the basics of Korean, will really, really help you and honestly make your experience more enjoyable too. Just knowing the basics like 안녕하세요, hello, and just like when greeting Koreans at a restaurant, like knowing the manners there, it just makes it really enjoyable. And I think that overall the Koreans really enjoy it and really love it when foreigners try to learn their language, and it just makes it so much nicer and feel good. Everybody feels good and everything. And it just like being able to read Hangul, the Korean writing system, like all the signs are mostly in Korean, so that just also really helps as well. I know there's like English everywhere too, but it just helps to be able to, know the basics.
I see. So how was your the people who you were studying with, your professors and your school? I believe you were in Seoul University.
Yes, SNU.
What was your major?
So my major was business.
Good.
And I just, a lot of times exchange students don't really get to take the classes that they want to because there's might not be enough English classes available. It's a completely different like system, like course, like education curriculum. So it's usually very difficult to get what you want. But however, I was fortunate to get at least three business classes that I needed to take for my major, which were like 2 finance classes
I see.
and some management courses, and then the rest electives.
So what about the grading system? Some people like told me like it's a very strict, or how do you?
So I'm not an expert at this. This is kind of like my assumptions and my friends' assumptions of it. So I kind of think that people have told me, multiple exchange students have told me that professors will not fail exchange students. Like in order to fail a student, they have to like do a lot of work to explain like, why am I failing this student, etc. They will just usually end up giving you a passing grade. But at least that's what happened to me personally. Like, even though I thought I did really, really horrible in one of my classes, like my test grades were like not good. Like I tried and they were not good. I ended up passing the class. So I think I feel like for some classes it depends. I think they do kind of like, give kind of a leeway to exchange students, but that doesn't mean don't try at all. Like you need to try. Just put in the effort, show up to class, don't skip classes, show up to class every day, just try to do the assignments, try to take the test. Like I'm a bad test taker, but I still showed up and tried. Especially for the final exams, just push through, just show up, try it, push through. And I think it will turn out okay in the end.
I see. So what kind of benefits do you think studying Korea can give to the foreign students?
I think that you will be able to make possibly some new Korean friends. In general, I don't know if people have heard this, but it is kind of hard to make friends with Koreans.
Yes.
Just because of language barriers. Like they can be a bit shy and not confident with their English speaking skills, even though they may be super good, which turns out to be most of the time. They're very good at English. It's just the language and then also cultural barrier. There's not really much of a thing known as small talk here. So it's like when you approach a stranger, it's like people think that you have a motive a lot of the time. So it's kind of just difficult to approach people. Like people like to stick in, their own circles and people that they know, partners, friends, etc. So it is a bit difficult, but I think with knowing Korean, that kind of like gives you kind of an advantage in a way.
I see.
Makes it kind of easier, and just connecting with people who might own restaurants and stuff. Like you talk to them more. They want to learn about your life story and everything. And, it's good to have that Korean knowledge and kind of be able to make those connections, whether they're short or long.
So what change did Korea bring to your life?
What change?
Yes, studying in Korea. Studying in Korea here, what kind of change did it bring to your life? Comparing with your old self while you were in the US.
I think this overall experience really challenged me in so many ways, personal and of course academic.
Yes.
Going to SNU, SNU was known as to be one of the top prestigious schools in the country, and that really opened my eyes. And realizing there's a lot of people here are way better than me, but that's okay. It's okay if I don't know everything. So I kind of just accepted the reality of hey, it's I'm here to learn. no comparing, like don't compare yourself with other people. And just like overall, like I kind of learned more things about myself personally. I went through a lot of struggles, and I kind of learned like, oh, you know, this makes more sense now. You know, like I learned a lot of things about myself too. But yeah, I think it definitely made me stronger. In the end.
Very essential. That's very important, honestly. That's a very good benefit.
And I'm very, very proud of how how far I've come and stuff. So
I see. So any strange stories with Korean?
there are a lot. What kind of stories?
I'm not quite sure what you want to share. What you think you can share with us?
Stories.
Yes.
Good or bad?
Maybe have you met any like Korean who are trying to convert people to Christianity?
Okay, yeah. That actually happened a few days ago.
Okay.
I was telling.
Yes. What's
about
the
this
story?
earlier. Okay, so in Korea, Korean cults, religious cults, are kind of infamous. And especially for foreigners, you kind of need to be aware and just be aware of that. As a foreigner, it's kind of 50-50, whether like you either are avoided by people, like people will not approach you or anything, or you will get so much attention, like people will approach you and, you know, try to talk to you and everything. So in this case, I actually was taking Korean lessons at SNU by a very nice lady who was a volunteer. She offered, you know, free Korean classes, lessons every year or every week. And so I decided to, you know, like, hey, like I'm not taking an actual Korean class, so it's like I want to, you know, make sure my Korean is not rusty. So I decided to take, you know, her free lessons, you know, and I knew that she was religious, and then she was a part of it. She did mention that. I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, I understand that. It wasn't until the end she offered, she asked me like, hey, do you want to get tea together? And she also asked it to another girl who I was taking the lessons with. The girl warned me that our teacher, our sensei Nim, actually arranged a meeting with, she brought a priest from a church to talk with my friends about joining, you know, their church and everything. And so I had been warned by my friend of that. And so I was prepared, like, okay, like I just want to say my goodbyes, you know, and thank yous to my teacher, and that's it. No, I ended up sitting and meeting the priest and two other SNU students who happened to be religious, and just sitting in a 1 hour and 30-minute conversation, like lecturing me about like you need to believe in this or else, like very, very forceful. Like
I think you told me you are atheist. I believe.
Yeah, yes. I don't have any religion, but I'm always open to learning about other religions. Like I've been learning about Buddhism since I came to Korea. They have so many Buddhist temples, so that was like I took a class on Buddhism. It was pretty interesting. So I like learning about other religions, and I respect like all the old religions in the world. But it's like when people are trying to force you to, you know, believe in what they believe, force their beliefs on to other people, like that's where it's like that is not okay, that is not appropriate. It's like I have shown no interest in this, you know, like please stop. But they didn't listen. So the best thing to do is just tell them like, hey, I am not if you're trying to convert me, it's pointless, it's useless, like please don't even start doing it, just walk away, you just need to walk away. And even though you might have connections, like I had my Korean teacher right there, like I didn't want to just stand up and leave. It's a bit like, you know, painful, but it's like pulling off a band-aid. It's like you need to say your goodbyes, thank yous, goodbyes to, you know, the person who brought you there, and just leave. But if you're interested in that stuff, that's totally fine.
Of course.
You know, but for me, it's like I should have been more confrontational. And you know,
I see. I understand. Honestly, I don't think it's a good idea to try to force your belief on anyone.
Yeah.
Yes,
like,
I don't think it's a good idea.
I'm open to learning, but it's just like if you're forcing, that like
that's very wrong.
like,
honestly,
why? Like
that's totally wrong. Honestly,
yeah.
I would like to finish